Hi everyone, Kelly Schaffner here. Happy New Year to you. I am so glad that you chose to click on this video today. I have a bins haul, a Goodwill Outlet clearance center haul where you pay by the pound. I went to Oklahoma City and I just have a little bag to share with you. This is everything I picked up, minus a couple things. One thing has sold and one thing is missing. And I'll share more about that at the end of this video. I'm going to share the haul. I'll share the story about the haul before we get into it, but I will give you kind of a wrap up at the end about just an update, a life update, a business update, some goals that I am looking at right now. So if you are just here for the haul, it's going to be in just a minute. I want to explain to you how I ended up in Oklahoma City. I live in New Mexico, just north of El Paso, Texas. That's the closest big city that I live by. I'm about 40 miles north of El Paso, Texas, right by the Mexico border. I live in the southernmost area of New Mexico. Now I have a son. My youngest son lives in Bergen County, New Jersey, which is very, very close to Manhattan. And he actually lives 2,147 miles from my door to his door. That is the distance. We decided to give my son a car. They had been in the market for a new car and were just having a difficult time finding exactly what they wanted, but they were down to one car between he and his wife, and we decided, you know what, we've got an extra one. Why don't we give it to him? Now, we didn't tell him, guys. I drove all the way to New Jersey and surprised him with mama and a car. So it was a really good excuse for me to get to see my son. This is the second time I have seen him this year, which is very, very unusual just because of the distance. My son is 33 years old and has a very busy life, as we do too. So it's not easy to travel every few months to see one another. So it was such a treat to get to see my boy at Christmas time. Actually, it was on my birthday. It was a gift that I gave to myself. Now, I had great plans. What I was going to do was thrift my way all the way to New Jersey, but let me tell you what happened. A few days, I'm gonna say about 5 days before I left, I woke up one morning early in December and my knee was kind of achy. And I thought, this is what happens when you get old. We all know someone that can forecast the weather based on how their joints or their bones are feeling. They tend to be older. And I thought, you know what? It is getting cold and I can feel it in my knee. I even mentioned it to my husband. But the thing is, the next day there was more pain, more inflammation, and my knee swelled up. There was so much pain. I couldn't move my knee. I had very, very limited mobility, no lateral movement. I was basically walking on one leg and balancing myself with my bum leg is basically what was happening. But that was not going to stop me from traveling to New Jersey, guys. I was bent on seeing my boy, and not just seeing my boy. I really, really wanted to thrift the Hackensack, New Jersey Goodwill Outlet bins. I've seen some hauls out of there. I've heard people talk about those bins. It's relatively new. I think they've only been open for maybe a couple years. Pretty new bins location, and I was dying to go thrifting there. So that was the plan. I left my house in the dark at about 4 a.m. and drove all the way to Oklahoma City. Actually, you guys, I put in the GPS the address of the Oklahoma City Goodwill Outlet bins. And I thought once I finish there, I will find a hotel and spend the night. And you have to know, this is day one of traveling 12 hours behind the wheel. And I land at the Goodwill Outlet bins and I felt so good. And I actually thought if I was able to walk around in the bins and, be in my element, that it would make my knee feel a little bit better. When I walked into the bins, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't research these bins before I went, so I didn't even take an IKEA bag inside with me. There were no carts to be found. It wasn't very busy, but I only saw about half a dozen carts on the floor, and most of the shoppers had great big plastic bins that they were putting their stuff in and just kind of pushing them around. So I followed suit, got myself a big bin and filled it with shoes. There had to be 20 bins of shoes. I was in heaven, but I was also hungry and I was really tired and my leg was killing me, but I thought I can't leave. I have to go down at least one row. There had to be like 6 or 7 bins in a row, and I was going down a row of clothing, going through clothes and filling up my bin with clothing, and the phone rang, guys, and it was my husband, and I was like, oops, busted, because he didn't know that I planned on thrifting along the way. And so I pushed my bin over to the wall. I found a milk crate. I sat down and I visited with my husband and I told him where I was. And I also told him, listen, let me, when I get out of here and find my hotel and get settled in, I'll give you a buzz. But I am safely in Oklahoma City. The first leg of my trip was accomplished. So I started sorting through my items. I'll insert a clip right here so you can see what I saw when I walked into the bins. I actually filmed this clip as I was leaving the bins. I thought I want to share with you guys all of these shoes. But as I was sitting and sorting through my cart, I saw this gigantic sign on the wall that had the price per pound. But I also found out at that time that shoes were charged a flat rate of $2.48 per piece. Mind you, I knew I was going to have to ship most of my thrift finds that I found on this trip from New Jersey back to New Mexico. My husband is employed by FedEx Express, and we do receive a really nice discount on personal shipping. So I had that going for me, but I still didn't want to go like ham on getting too much stuff. So I edited my cart down to nearly nothing, and I left some really good shoes behind that I keep thinking about. I would love to go back and visit the Oklahoma City bins because their shoe selection was really, really plentiful. But I did get some shoes. I spent $9.58. I got 9 items, of which I am going to share 7 with you. Only 2 pairs of shoes. My entire trip cost $1,402. Those are my business expenses. What I actually spent on travel, which was gas and a plane trip home, and what else? My sourcing, food and lodging, and shipping. Okay, so all of those things totaled $1,402. It is my hope. I may be really dreaming big here, but it is my hope that everything I brought back is going to pay for my trip and hopefully make some profit over that. But if I only break even on this, I will consider that a great trip, because the truth is I got to see my boy. We got to spend some great time together. It was the best birthday. I will be cost averaging every single piece from the entire trip that I plan on selling. And the reason being is I got a great donation from my daughter-in-law. She had 2 big bags of clothing that she was going to donate. So I did go through it and I brought quite a bit home. Like I said, I shipped home 99 pounds and I brought home 2 50-pound suitcases with me, but that was also including my personal belongings. So I'm guessing about 150 pounds, but not all of it was purchased at the bins. Anyway, that's way too much. I will keep you posted on the cost of goods and also on how I'm doing in recouping that $1,402. This is the first pair of shoes, only 2 pairs of shoes that I decided to keep. After all that time hunting, only 2 pairs of shoes that I brought home. This is a pair of Tory Burch T-strap brown leather sandals with the logo there in gold. This is what the bottoms look like. There's a little wear and there is a little heel wear on them, but not enough, I think, to deter a buyer. Now these have been conditioned, guys. I did polish them up a little bit because they were rough, which is the norm when you're picking up shoes at the bin, but I knew I could rehab these. And these are selling between $40 and $80. So at the low end, I'm gonna say I will probably make about $40. These are a size 7.5. And I kept these boots. I decided to give these boots a try. I have never ever sold this brand before. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it because the brand is so very faint. I'm just gonna take one shoe. These are really a substantial shoe, and paying $2.48 a piece probably saved me money on this particular shoe because these are substantial, all leather, wood heel boot. That's what the bottom of the boots look like. And aren't they pretty? Again, these have been conditioned with Doc Martens Wonder Balsam. Let me take, I don't think you're going to be able to see inside. Yeah, I keep my shoes stuffed just to maintain the shape of the shoe. But if you can see inside there, these are by the brand Veracruz. I cannot see it right now, guys. So I hope that you are able to see the brand. And I thought, never have heard of Veracruz, never sold Veracruz. So I did look these up when I was sitting on my little milk crate. And this brand, I don't think it's exclusive, but this brand has been sold many, many times by Sundance, the Sundance catalog. And that doesn't surprise me at all. This is a very boho kind of Western looking boot, and it does have all of these staples, so that does tell me this is handcrafted and not necessarily glued together. This pull strap back here is really kind of cool. I mean, they're just a really nice boot, and I think they're a size 39. They're my size. They also look a little bit wider than most boots that I picked up, so I did look these up and I thought I'm gonna try them. The comps for these boots are anywhere from $80. I saw them all the way up to $180. I'm gonna aim around $100. If I can get $100 for these really cool boots, I will be thrilled. And I thought, you know what, that's what I was looking for, the higher price point shoes. But guys, I left OOFAs behind, and I've never sold OOFAs, and that is a very, very trending brand right now. I mean, I keep thinking about the shoes I left behind in Oklahoma, and it makes me sad. But let's get into the clothes. Let me start by sharing with you a pair of denim that I got, and I questioned whether or not to get them, which is kind of crazy. They were a pair of a Goldie denim. They were the 90s pinched waist, high-rise, ankle, straight leg, really, really cute, in fabulous condition. I'd love to find a Goldie. The only reason I thought about it for more than like a split second is that I think they were a size 24 or 25, a really small size, and I normally have a difficult time moving those smaller sizes. I accepted an offer for $55. It came in like 2 days after listing it, and I didn't want to hold on to those smaller sizes. Those are always tough for me to sell. And then I found a new to me brand. I'll share that at the end of this haul. Let me share with you what I did find, guys. This here is a Barefoot Dreams cozy chic, light knit cardigan sweater. This is in a kind of a dark navy blue with the waterfall front on it, and this one also has pockets. This one is in a size small medium, and if you're not familiar with the Barefoot Dreams line, normally in these cardigans you want to go down a size. They are very, very roomy, so even this size small medium will fit a size large. And guys, you're not going to believe it, I found this exact same cardigan sweater in New Jersey. Same size, same color, everything. So I did create a multiple listing. I thought that was really unusual to find one in Oklahoma and then one in New Jersey, but I was very, very excited about it. I brought home 3 Barefoot Dreams pieces, which is super unusual. I've only sold the brand one time before. Next up, this is kind of odd. This is a Free People piece, guys. And I'll share the tag with you, and then I'll tell you why I think it is odd. This is We the Free, which is one of the Free People lines, and this one is an extra large. Look at it. This is such great colors. This blues and greens and kind of burgundy color flannel top. This is what the sleeves look like. Guys, this has pockets. It could be worn as like a lightweight shacket, I think. And you can see here, there is a defined like waist, and I thought there might be a cinched waist on this, but there is not. It just looks like this. It does have a very clear OB number. I wasn't able to find any information. Now, the OB number did bring up a lot of different Free People flannel tops, but not this one. This one's a little bit different. It is collarless, or it has more of, I don't know, like a split neck, has all of these unfinished seams on all of the edges. You can see it even down the button placard and also at the hemline. So I have not been able to find this exact top. If you know anything about this top, please share with me, because if I can't find any information on a listing, if I can't find it rapidly, I just describe it to the best of my ability. And that is what I did with that piece. Next up, I have an LL Bean piece, guys, and this is what it looks like. This is a size large, split neck, 3/4 sleeve. It's a rusty orange color printed tunic top by LL Bean. It is Supima cotton, and it felt like new, and I did discover it's new with tags. It does retail for $39, is that what it says? $39.95, and it's so hard for me to leave new with tags, and LL Bean sells pretty good for me. It doesn't always sell rapidly, but there's definitely a following for the brand. I did find comps for this exact top for $10. That one was not new with tags. I'm aiming for about $20. We didn't talk about a price for this top, guys. I priced this top at $35, hoping to get between like $28 and $30 on that piece. And here is the last piece, and then I'll tell you about the piece that is missing. This is J. Crew. This was an exciting find. I think this is a pretty good piece, guys. It's a J. Crew piece, new with tags. You can see that right there. I'll show you the tag right there. J. Crew, extra large, and this is one of their sweater blazers with a contrasting trim on it. There is a pink and white little trim on it. This is such a nice sweater. I would really love to try this out, but I am not keeping anything. I'm not keeping anything until I reach that 1,400 mark. And then this one just is a lint collector too, which really doesn't work out very well because I have a white dog. But okay, there's one more piece that I got, guys, and that was a Balenciaga dress, Balenciaga Paris. I was so excited when I found it. Balenciaga is a brand that I have never found in the wild, not at a buy-sell trade, a consignment, the bins, a regular thrift, nowhere. So you can imagine my excitement when I found a Balenciaga piece. Now, the thing was, I found that piece just as Balenciaga was receiving a lot of heat for their recent holiday ads, and there was so much controversy about that, and I was like, do I take this? Of course I decided to take it home. I have never tried selling the brand, and I thought worst case scenario I could send it to the Real, but I did bring it home, and I discovered a few little stains on it. Was very confident I could get those stains out, and I went to get the dress for this video, and the dress is missing. And the dress is somewhere in my house, but it has been relocated in my house. So I will share that with you as soon as I find it, and make sure that you're subscribed if you want to see. I did find quite a bit of designer pieces in New Jersey, and the Balenciaga, maybe the Tory Burch, were the only designer or premium brands that I found in Oklahoma, but I found a lot of great stuff in New Jersey. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to see all of that. Give this video a thumbs up. And to all of my friends that are curious about a little life update, thank you for sticking around. I want to first say that my knee is much improved, much better, but I suffered with that lack of mobility the entire time that I was in New Jersey. I did put my stores on vacation while I was in New Jersey, and when I returned home, I left them on vacation mode because everything I was reading said the only thing that's going to make your knee better is rest, elevating your knee, ice and heat, and pain reliever. And I decided to do that, and it was actually really nice. I have not turned off my stores completely since 2019, so it was a much needed little break, and I spent that rest time on the couch cuddled up with my mother watching Christmas movies. And you guys, it was so nice to spend that time with my mother. I am my mother's full-time caregiver. She does have dementia, which is a degenerative disease. It only gets worse. Sometimes we have plateaus where things kind of stay the same, and on rare occasions she has a moment of clarity. Christmas Eve, she was there with us, and I was present for it, guys. It was so nice. But as I sat there with my mother, giggling and watching Christmas movies, I thought, I need to have more of this. My mother is not communicating well anymore. She talks a lot, and I understand her only because I'm with her so much of the time. But there will come a day in the very near future where she will not be verbal at all, and I need to spend as much time as possible with my mother. One of the things that my mother does, it is the disease. I don't know how or why she does these things, but she will take objects from around the house and she will hide them. And sometimes that is items out of my office. She takes clothing or shoes from my office and she hides them, and we'll eventually find them. They might be hidden in a trunk, or they might be in the dishwasher, or who knows. But I believe that is what happened with the Balenciaga dress. I'm pretty organized, but I have a hard time locking my mother out of my office. That may be something that has to happen in the future. But as I was thinking about my goals for 2023, I thought one of my goals is going to be to have the best year I can possibly have with my mother. I don't want any regrets. When I moved back home, I really wanted to help my mother to enjoy the very best of her golden years. That's why I'm here. And that little forced time off really helped me to put things into perspective. I want to talk to you briefly about my 2022 goals, my old goals and what I accomplished. One of the things I was striving for in 2022 was a sales month, any month out of the year, where I grossed $10,000. That did not happen, guys. Didn't even come close, to be honest with you. At the beginning of the year, things were going very strong. My business was just growing every single month until that algorithm changed. And I don't know, I think that affected me deep down inside. I didn't know what Poshmark was looking for. I don't think anyone knows. There's a million videos out there because so many people feel just like me. Like, what do I do? Do I change my titles, adjust my listings, lower my prices, you name it? And I really didn't want to play that game. So I just started listing more on eBay. So between my Poshmark sales, eBay sales, I had a good year. I'm happy with the year, but I still did not achieve that $10,000 mark that I was looking for. And my sales were actually down on Poshmark by $8,000. I will make note that it was not a complete year. I took those 10 days, everything was closed, but nonetheless, you guys see where I'm going. So in this year, I plan to list first to eBay and then to Poshmark. I expect more changes will be coming with Poshmark as Naver acquires Poshmark, and I think there's just going to be quite a few speed bumps along the way. I am not leaving Poshmark. I love selling on Poshmark, but I also like being able to pay my bills. So I will be listing heavily on eBay, and more of my focus may be on eBay before Poshmark. I'm very optimistic that Poshmark is still going to be a great platform to sell on. Don't get me wrong, I'm not poo-pooing on Poshmark. I just don't understand what they want, and they're not giving us that information. So when that starts happening, I think that we're going to see a big uptick in sales with Poshmark, and it just won't be so finicky. That's how I will describe it. It has been very finicky. I can have a great sales day and the next day only sell one item. The activity has been down in my closet. It's just, Poshmark has disappointed me, and they have no obligation to keep me happy, but it's just been overall a bit of a disappointment with Poshmark last year. eBay, on the other hand, came in strong because I had not been listing consistently on eBay prior. So of course I had nowhere to go on eBay but up. Last year, I started the year with a focus on growth. I wanted to grow my business. I was growing my business by downsizing my inventory, but I wanted to grow my business by hiring an employee and also moving into a workspace, whether that was an office, a warehouse. I wasn't quite sure, but I was certainly thinking about that and even kind of looking at properties in my area. And I think, I make plans and God laughs, because my mother did end up moving in with me, and I did hire an employee, but it was not for my business. I mean, it does affect my business. I hired a part-time caregiver for my mother, so I have 2 days dedicated for me. So I can use those days to work on my business, for mental health, to see friends, anything I want to, but I have 2 days, 16 hours a week where someone else is taking care of my mother. That has been a godsend, and I have been able to get a lot more work done. You've probably seen this background. This is my mother's house, my childhood home, and I am filming more and more videos here. I am also processing more and more of my inventory here, and truthfully, guys, I am considering bringing my entire business here, because I am at this house 7 days a week to do chores, to look in on the property, all of that. I'm strongly considering moving every single thing into this house so I don't have items missing from my office and my inventory. They will all be stored here. This is a really large house with a really large garage. There is plenty of space that is not being used at all. So it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but yes, I did hire an employee, and that has made my business continue. And I think you might be looking at my new workspace right here in my mother's house. I'm home from New Jersey now. It's been about 3 weeks. My knee is much, much improved. I am feeling convicted that the extra weight that I am carrying is what put the pressure on my knee, because I cannot figure out what I did to tweak it or hurt it, but I am feeling so much better. I am not at 100%, but my energy level is up, the pain is gone, and the mobility is getting better by the day. That was an eye-opener. I take care of my mother, and I have to be mobile to take care of my mother. So my health is going to be first and foremost. It has to be. We've been here 4 years. We bought our house 4 years ago, moved back home. I've put on 40 pounds, and it hasn't really bothered me much. To be honest with you, it just doesn't bother me. I am very, very confident in my appearance and in my body, but my body has always been able to carry me and move me. So this was an eye-opener, guys. And Yeah, I have started watching what I am eating, and the inflammation went down immediately upon removing sugar and wheat from my diet, and I'm feeling so much better, and I am definitely on the road to recovery, and I hope to stick with that. If you don't have your health, you do not have an occupation, and I guess, you know, you don't think it can happen to you until it happens to you. And yeah, the whole thing was crazy, guys. I did not even get to like thrift like I wanted to thrift because I was crippled with this bad knee. And before I go, I just want to talk to you about my biggest goal for 2023. And this might surprise you. I have not heard anybody talk about their goals in the same fashion that I'm going to talk to you right now. I had a good year last year. When I started reselling, guys, I was making extra money and it was great. But when this whole pandemic, the world pandemic started, I started thinking about, would I be able to take care of myself if something happened to my husband? Because my husband's income pays all the bills and my income was kind of paying for the extras. And I set my sights on making a full-time income, an income that could cover all of the bills in the event that my husband lost his job, got hurt, or, you know, I'm not even going to talk about it, but you know what I'm talking about. I was raised that way, guys. My parents taught me that you have an obligation to care for yourself, and if there's any extra, you care for others. And that was a great motivator, and I'm there right now. I have been selling women's secondhand clothing for 46 months. In 2 years, I will celebrate 4 years as a reseller, and I'm making a humble income doing that, an income that I am satisfied with that will pay our bills. And in 2023, I want to maintain that. I am not going to focus on growth. In fact, I am going to focus on streamlining. How can I make the best use of my time? In 2022, I focused a whole lot on better sourcing, and I do think that really helped my business. I have a lot better average sale price. My average sale price in 2022 is like $42.16. The year I started reselling, which was not a complete year, my average sale price was like $12.19. So there has been a big leap since the beginning and now, and that I have only learned through repetition, through making mistakes, and through learning. So I hope to continue that in the future, but I really don't want to put the pressure on myself to grow this business at the expense of time and memories with my mother. I want to share as much of my journey right here on YouTube with you. You guys have been such a bright spot in my life. I have become great friends with some of you that I haven't even met in real life. And I honestly feel the camaraderie of so many of you that have done what I am doing now. Many of you have shared your experiences, and I will be forever grateful. I hope to be able to continue to share just my experience. That's all I have, guys, is my experience. This is the most fun I have ever had at any job I have ever done. This has been such a good time. But this year I am not going to focus on building and growing and making $1 million. I want to maintain what we have right now. We have spent almost 4 years building something that is working, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of changes. The only change that may happen is YouTube, guys. I will film as much as I possibly can. There's nothing I like more than sharing my thrift finds with you and sharing my adventures with you, but my time has become more limited. I know that you understand. I hope that you'll stick around. That would be awesome. I'm gonna run. You've been here long enough for my 7-piece haul. You guys, I love you. I hope everyone has a very peaceful, prosperous 2023. And I want to tell you a fact. The fact is, the best is yet to come. Blessings to all of you.